Hi Austin, so I saw your post and you wanted to create a table similar to the feature stack up at glance, the feature list matrix that we did. So the easiest way obviously to do this would be to use HTML, but I don't really want to go down that route because the system is for non-coders, non-developers, so it should be done in a way that's easy for anybody to do it. However, with that comes the problems of doing such a it's just like a table, but there's quite a lot of complex elements in there, and HTML is the way that I would do it, but I'm not going to do that in that case. So I'm going to take you through how we could sort of do something similar to this over the next few minutes. Right, so before we move into the site, there's things to bear in mind here. When you have a row, with the columns, so in this case we have one row. Let's look at this top one. Let me just open it up. We've got one row here, but we've got five columns, sorry. So in responsiveness, what will happen with the row is these will roll underneath each other. So when you collapse this, then these top ones, if they're in a row, will also collapse underneath, and suddenly the whole table breaks. You see what I mean? So you're trying to make a table that's going to work for everything. So the way that you would do it in here is you need to think about that when you're designing a site. Now, it is true to say that you could set up a brand new table for each device. So you could format that table to work for mobiles and set up a new table, but who wants to do three tables? One for desktop, one for mobile, one for tablet. So if we just think about how we're going to do it, then we should eliminate that problem. So let's have a look and see what we can do. Okay, so bearing all that in mind, we're going to jump, and I'm just going to show you the problem that we have. Also, I see that Amit also said you could use an image, and he's right. And you were saying, yeah, but then the image will become really small. But what you could do is you could set up an image for desktop, redo a new image for tablet, and redo a new image for mobile, and that way it would work. So I'm going to show you a few options anyway. So let's jump in here. First of all, I've just got this free plan dummy site that I've set up, and I'm going to go to pages, and I'll just use this page, doesn't matter which page. We'll come in here and I'll just show you the test and how it kind of works, and then it gives you the option to use whatever you want. Now inside of Zenler we also have a text editor that allows you to put tables in there. However, it's a little bit kind of annoying to work with, so I tend to work with rows, or ideally, like as Amit said, work with an image. So down here I'm just going to add a new block in. I'm just going to add an empty block because I don't want anything in it. I'm just starting from scratch. I'm going to go and add a row now. Now remember, we actually need 5 rows. We've only got 4 in here, but it's not a problem because we can click this and it's going to give us this, and then inside here we have the option to actually add more elements inside of one of these. So with that, you can go over this and you can right hand click and you can go add a new column. There we go, we've got 5. So you can space these out however you see fit for you. Let's just say the labels in here. Okay, so we've got a row, our first row. So I'm just going to add an element, show you the knock-on effect that we get. So I'm going to come in and just drop a text element in here, and then I'm going to call it column. Column 1. Okay, and I'm actually going to duplicate it, so I can just drag it across and duplicate again, so I can drag it across, duplicate again, so I can drag it across. So you can see how quick I can work inside of this. So just by duplicating elements saves me redoing things. Then I can come in here and just put 2, come in here and put 3, come in here and put 4. I'm not worrying about the formatting, I just want to see what happens when we actually resize it. Okay, let me save that. Let me click into preview now, and you're going to see the problem that you do get once you resize. So let's just preview this. Going to open this up. There we go. So if we start to bring this down, what you're going to see is it will drop underneath each other, and this is the problem that we have. You see it snapping to that 5 by 4, but the order is maintained. Yeah, and this is the important thing. So let us go and have a look at our thing and see what we could do. Well, because it's going underneath, this top row is really good. So let's just put a live stream to Facebook, YouTube. I'm going to put that in there, and that way you're going to see live stream to Facebook and YouTube. Okay, well, I'll just make it bold, so I'll just select that text and make it bold. So then obviously we could put yes in there, but it's just gonna, we actually want to say which one it's for. Now, like I said to you, if I was to put a column up the top and have it, I'm going to duplicate this out so I can demonstrate to you, and I was, for instance, to delete that one out, and I was to put in there Zenler Thinkific and Teachable Kajabi, and then I was to save this, and we can re-preview in that page. I don't need to open another preview page because I haven't closed this one, so I'm just going to refresh this. I'm holding the control key and hitting refresh. So that's what we've got. Now see what the problem is when we resize this down, is it does not relate to this now because it's not there. You know, it's stacking these and it's not stacking these. So we can't use that technique, but what we can do is by each of these we could copy it. So if I copy this and I paste it in here and click yes, and then I was to take this one, copy it, paste it in there, click no. That's a good one to pick because it's no on all of them. So let's copy that one, put that across, and click no. Then it's going to work. So let's just save that and preview it. And now if I jump into responsive mode in this and do this, it makes sense. Yeah. So that's how you can work it out. Now, as far as styling it up, now of course, you know, like you could drop images in here as well if you wanted to, you know. So you could put a little tick by there or something. Put Zenler in there. It's probably best to use text to keep it simple. So let's just do a bit of styling on this now. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this top and bottom down. I'm going to go into the padding areas, and that all looks good. Go into here. I'll just remove all the spacing and stuff from this. And you're going to see in a minute, we've only got to do this once because then we can just copy the whole row and it's all going to look good. Okay, I'm also going to take this row and I'm going to just horizontally align it left, and I'll make sure that's centered, which it is, and I can go and choose a background color for this. Choose something like that, nice lighter color. Okay, save it. Right, so now you kind of understand this principle. It should be easy to develop. Now, what I found at the time of producing this video is there's a little bug in the system which we're going to get sorted out. But basically inside of here, when you're hitting this button, the vertical alignment for center is not actually working. So that's going to hopefully be sorted. So my fix for this now, just so I can finish this video, is to come in here into the settings and go to the line height and drop the line height down till it's in the center. So hopefully that'll be fixed, and this table will be a bit narrower along that top. So I've got a setting there of 58. So what I do is I just come into all of these and I'll just paste in here 58, make sure they're all the same. So remember, it's the principle we're trying to explain here, rather than making it look all pretty and stuff. It's the principle. We can tackle the making it pretty later. So good. So you can see there, so I've done that. So that will now work. So if I jump into our column, we're going to have something that looks like this, all nicely centered. And then of course we could come in here and see them all in nice table format in both mobile and in here. So how can we make this look a bit prettier in here? Well, we also have the ability to drop a row inside a row, which can help you kind of color things out nicely and those sort of things. We can also come in here and you can see I can change the border. So what I could do is I could add a border width, and this will go around the whole thing just to make it look pretty. And we're going to go in here, we're going to say solid style. So now you can see we've got a border around here which we can change like this, so you can break it all up nicely. Now it would be nice to have a border inside as well. So what we can do is I'm temporarily going to drag this across to here, okay, and then I'm going to put a row inside a row. So I'm going to go in here, add an element, and I'm going to go row. So I've added a row element in here. I can come into this and I can set it up with its own little border if I want to, or I could change the background color. So if I change the background color, I could do something like that inside there. And then I could take this tag that I just copied temporarily over, and I could grab him. Let me just drop him down the bottom. Sometimes you just need to take this, just work it out, drop him in there. We've got it in there as a different color, so you can see you can sort of style it up as you like. So you can put a row inside a row. Now I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back a few steps. Remember, you can go back a few steps by pressing Ctrl Z, or you can just click in here and you can go back on yourself. Sometimes you have to give it a little bit of time just to work itself out. And saying that, sometimes it's quicker just to come in and delete it out and move it back. So let's just go in there, delete that out, move it back, drag and drop it straight back into that. Post there. Just put that little block in there, okay. Okay, good. Let's delete that out. This is playing around with it. Sometimes it can cause problems. Make sure that line height is 59. So hopefully this little thing will be resolved when it's finished. So I'm also going to get rid of this outer border because I don't want it. You can just turn it off in here, so click none. Okay, so to create the next row, what you can do is you can come in here and you can just duplicate it, and then we can call it something else like feature 2, and then we could go and change this background color. So I could go in here and make this maybe a slightly darker color, like that. And then I could take this top block here and I could duplicate that, and then you can click this little downwards arrow, and there you go, you're starting to get your blocks built. Let's click save. Let's check it out. And there we go. So we're getting a table built here. And it all makes sense. Feature 2, you've got all this down here. It's all readable. And it all makes sense. So hopefully that's going to help you out. Now just also remember that you can put stuff inside these things as well. It's like if I wanted to put a little image in here, I could have a little image. So I'm going to just put in our Zenler logo inside here. So instead of this button, I'm just going to delete this one out. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go to our image. And I'm going to grab my Zenler logo in there. There he is. And I'm just going to resize him right down like that. Looks perfect. And then of course you can copy that in there as well. So let's go and save that and have a look. And now we got this little Zenler thing, and if I bring this down like this, you can see it's actually sized up a bit as well, which is perfect. Great. So what about putting Zenler logo and text? Because you probably want to use the Thinkific logo and then have a cross or something. Well, we can do that easily. So we can come in here, I'll just delete this out, and I use my little row technique. So I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to put a 2 row in here. So now I'm going to drop a new element in, and it's going to be an image, and I'm going to go and grab our Zenler logo again. So there it is there. Remember, this would be based on the size of you know, these main bits across here. So I'm going to make this a bit bigger. So I'm going to add an element in here. I'm going to add no. So I'm just going to add text in here. I'm going to double click on this text and put no. And that way I can come in here and I can just grab this little line and just make this a bit bigger. Like that. You know. Once again, you might have to come in here and change your line adjustment just to get it so it looks good. Something like that. And then click save. Refresh that. There we go. And if I resize this down, it's actually done a line, so it's gone up and down onto there. Probably avoid using images in there unless you know a little bit about HTML and stuff. So I'm going to do that. So next thing I want to show you quickly is how we could do it with an image. So we're actually going to use the image that you've given us here that I did. I'll just show you basically how to sort of do this. So you could line things out differently. So I think what I'll actually do is I'll actually do it a different version of this, but just show you what I mean. So I'm going to be using Photoshop to do my editing. So I'm just going to jump into Photoshop and produce 2 things. I'm just going to show you. So you can see I have this kind of black and white version of the full matrix here, competitor matrix, but I've also quickly, and it's not all of these because I just spend too long doing them out, I've just done a quick sort of sample of a compressed version for maybe mobile or tablet. You could do as many versions as you want. I'm just going to show you how it works. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to export this out, and this is going to be for the desktop version. So I'm just going to export this out of Photoshop here, and I'm going to save it and call it desktop version. And this is what Amit was getting at, but it's very hard to explain it all in just messages. So and I'll do this one. We're just going to call this tablet version. So obviously you probably do a mobile version as well. So that's like half the size. So I'm just going to save this out. It's all the same because, like I said, I don't want to spend hours doing these things up. So we'll do this as tablet version. Okay, and click save. All right, let's jump back into our site now. So let's go back into here, and what I'll do this time is I'll create a new block, and basically just going to shove an image in there, and then we're going to show you how it works. So I want 1 row. I'm going to add an element which is going to be an image. I'm going to go and upload that image. So on my desktop. So there's the desktop version. Click open. I'm going to do it without cropping, so that's going to put that image in there. Beautiful. I'm going to create a new block, so I'm going to select the bottom of this block and create a new block, and inside that block I'm going to drop a row, and I'm going to come in and drop an image. I'm going to upload an image, and I'm going to grab the tablet version. There we go. And I'm going to upload without cropping. Okay, so there we go. So this is going to look good on tablets. So what you need to do is, I want this one to show on desktop only, and I want this one to show on tablets and mobiles. So really easy to do this. We're going to click inside this box and hit this little gear icon, and where we have down on the settings, we're going to say hide on mobile and tablets, and then click save. So that means it'll only appear on the desktop. So we're going to go in this one, and we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to click this block. By the way, you can do this for any of the blocks in there as well, so you don't have to do it on a top element. You could put this into one block and make it work in one block as well. So, but I can't show you all the variations. So this is going to not show, it's going to be hidden on desktop. Notice it disappeared. Notice that it's disappeared. Okay, let's click save. Right, let's test this out now. Let's just go into here, and let's go to desktop here. Yeah, if we look, nothing's showing. Let's go to tablet. Aha! So our other one's disappeared, and this one's popped up. Mobile, this one's popped up. So desktop, this one's back again. So you see, and now I'm going to save this, and we're going to check this out. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to hit the refresh. And in there, straight away, you can see we have our desktop version, but we do not have our tablet version. So when I reduce this down, like this, we now have our tablet version, or our phone version. So this is what Amit was saying about how you could use an image, and you can tie that in with hide on devices, on device type. So you can create another block that works for tablet and mobile, and another block that works for desktop. So the last method that you could use if you wanted to is you could go in and drop another element here. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to go and grab a new block, and I'm going to go and grab an element, a row, and then I'm going to come in to add an element, and I'm going to go to it doesn't matter really, I'm just going to go to text block, and you're going to see in the text block, if we click like this, that you could actually start setting it up in here if you jumped to HTML. So I could put an HTML block in there, sorry. Let me just show you, or a list block. So I have lists here, that's how lists work. I also have an HTML block, so I could actually put custom HTML in there to create a table as well. So hopefully that's helped you. There's a few different methods. Probably the easiest method, if you're good in Photoshop or any of the other image manipulation programs, is just to create an image and have it on different size devices, because obviously it's really quick. Then you can edit it and update it. This looks good, but you'll have to spend a bit of time setting it up. As I said, there was a slight bug in that for the row. I don't know what was happening there, so that should be fixed soon as well. So really up to you which way you want to go, but that's given you all the information you need, I think.